Neville Longbottom sits on a hard wooden bench in the Janus Thickey Ward. He stares at a crumpled wrapper from a piece of Drooble's best blowing gum. To anyone else, it is trash. To Neville, it is a treasure. His mother, Alice, just pressed it into his hand. She does this every time he visits. It is the only way she can show affection, a broken reflex from a life destroyed decades ago. This is the reality for the Longbottoms. The tragedy is so deep that death seems like a mercy. We fear the killing curse because of the green light and the sudden silence. But there is a worse darkness. It is a state where the body survives while the mind is trapped in a cage. Frank and Alice were once the gold standard of the Aurors office. They were decorated, fearless, and key members of the Order of the Phoenix. They fought the most dangerous dark wizards of their time. Their story is not defined by their wins. It is defined by one night after Voldemort fell. They did not just lose their freedom. They lost the ability to recognize their own son. They lost their identity.
To understand this horror, look at the act itself. This was not a battle. It was a systematic dismantling of the human spirit. The attackers did not want them dead. They wanted information and tore the sanity out of the Longbottoms to get it. They used the Cruciatus Curse. This spell exists for one purpose: to inflict unbearable pain.
We have seen the curse used in short bursts to punish or control, but to break a mind requires a level of cruelty that is hard to grasp. The damage suggests the attackers held them in that agony until it burned away their neural pathways. They never found what they wanted. Frank and Alice never broke, even as their minds did. They kept their secret in a place no one could reach. They exist now in Ward 49 of the Janus Thickey Ward at St. Mungo's. It is a place for those who are considered permanent and forgotten. The ward feels like a nightmare of stillness. The air is heavy and cold, cut off from the energy of the rest of the hospital. There are no ticking clocks or chatter. You only hear the hollow shuffling of feet and the echo of voices that have forgotten how to speak. When you walk through those doors, you are not looking at the people they once were. You are looking at living ghosts trapped in a void. Magic can mend bones in seconds and regrow limbs. The fact that St. Mungo's cannot help the Longbottoms shows how terrifying the Cruciatus Curse is. It is a wound magic cannot heal. It is a total erasure. Neville grew up with a grandmother who held him to the standards of parents he could never know. He visited a ward to see two people who looked at him with vacant eyes. There is a cruel irony here. The parents who were silenced became the catalyst for the boy who found his own voice. Neville's character grew as a reaction to that silence. He lived in the shadow of their sacrifice and struggled to match the memory of heroes who were still alive. He was defined by loss, yet he was forged by it. When he stood before Voldemort and struck down Nagini, he was not just fighting for the world. He was proving that the erasure of his parents was not the end of their story. Voldemort never visited the Longbottoms. He saw them as failed pawns. He did not understand that by destroying their minds, he created the person who would dismantle his future. The tragedy of Frank and Alice is that they were left behind by a war that would not let them go. They are permanent casualties who gave everything and were left with nothing but the echo of their own screams. The Janus Thickey Ward shows the true cost of the Unforgivable Curses. They are tools of erasure. For the Longbottoms, the silence of their ward is louder than any battle cry. It is proof of a love that remained, even when the mind could no longer hold it.